Good morning, dear children. So we are going to continue with P block elements, and today is our lecture 22. Last class we have discussed about the hydrides of group 17, that is halogens, then oxides, and we have seen that oxides of fluorine is known as fluorides rather than oxides, because fluorine is more electronegative and it forms two oxides, O2F2 and OF2, where fluorine is in negative, that is -1, and oxygen is in positive oxidation state. Chlorine, Cl2O, ClO3, Cl2O6, Cl2O7, etc. Similarly, bromine also forms series of oxides, iodine also I2O4, I2O5, and so on. So these are the oxides, and these oxides, they are acidic in nature. Now today we will start with the interhalogens. Okay, what are interhalogens? The compounds which are formed between two different halogens, in which one is smaller than the other, in which one is more electronegative than the other, and such type of compounds are known as interhalogens. And X, X dash, X, X dash 3, X, X dash 5, X, X dash 7, and so on. So these four types are there. X, X dash, you can see the example CLF, BRF, ICL, etc. And you can see one is more electronegative than the other. Okay, X, X dash 3 like CLF3, BRF3, ICL3, and everywhere one is smaller than the other and the second one is more electronegative than the central atom. And X, X dash 5 like BRF5, CLF5, oxidation state becomes +5 here, and in this case chlorine will be in +3 oxidation state, here bromine +3, iodine +3. Similarly IF7, and here iodine heptafluoride, it shows +7 oxidation state. Okay, and here the shape of these interhalogens is very important along with their hybridization, and I'll show you the example CLF3. Let us find out BRF5 and IF7. So in CLF3 the hybridization is sp3d. Now you can see that chlorine valence electron is 7 and it makes 3 bonds. So out of 7, 3 bonds are made, so 4 electrons are left. 4 left, that means 2 lone pairs. So 3 plus 2 sp3d, 3 bond pair, 2 lone pair. So the shape will be T shape. Okay, have a look, 3-dimensional figure, T shape it is. Now when we talk about BRF5, then BRF5, out of 7 electrons, if 5 are bond pairs, then only 2 electrons left. 2 means 1 lone pair. So in this case what is going to happen? 5 plus 1, that means sp3d2. sp3d2 with 1 lone pair, so this will be square pyramidal. The geometry will be square pyramidal. So you can see here okay, so this is the geometry of CLF5, BRF5, and so on. And finally IF7, out of 7, all 7 electrons are used for bonding. So hybridization is sp3d3, and sp3d3 without any lone pair will be pentagonal bipyramidal. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. IF7, and this bond angle, these axial bonds, it lies at an angle of 90 degree, and pentagon, its bond angle is 72 degree. So these interhalogens, they are interhalogens as they are formed between two different halogens, and they are polar in nature. One NCERT in-text question is there, explain why ICl is more reactive than iodine itself. So why it is so? Because it is polar. Why it is polar? Because it is made up of two different halogens, and since it is polar, therefore its bond dissociation energy is also less. It can easily be cleaved, and lesser the bond enthalpy, more would be the reactivity, and vice versa. Okay, so interhalogens are more reactive than halogens. Interhalogens are polar. Interhalogens, their bond dissociation enthalpy would be less as compared to the normal halogens. Okay, and the halide ions of interhalogens, they are known as interhalide ions. Okay, they are called interhalide ions. Have a look here. Suppose IF2 minus, ClF4 minus, BrF4 minus, and so on. So here IF2 minus, hybridization, you see iodine 7 minus charge, that means gain of 1 electron. 7 plus 1, 8. Out of 8 only 2 is shared, so 6 are left. 6 means 3 lone pairs are left. So hybridization will be sp3d. sp3d with 3 lone pairs. Then what will be the geometry? So there are 3 lone pairs, IF2 minus, so it is linear in shape. ClF4, 7 plus 1, 8. Out of 8, 4 bond pairs. 4 are left, that means 2 lone pairs. So the hybridization will be sp3d2 and ClF4. So here 2 lone pairs, and this geometry is square planar. Okay, and similarly BrF4. So these interhalogens, their properties, their preparation as well. So how they are prepared? Direct combination, Cl2 plus F2 upon heating, 2ClF. When one of them is in excess, ClF3, like this, and so on. So upon heating between two different halogens, we can obtain these interhalogens. Then these are interhalide ions, their hybridization and their geometry. And you must know that how do we find out their number of lone pairs, so that by using the Vesper theory, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, we can predict the geometry of these halide ions. Okay, so this is very important. So after oxides, interhalogens, two important molecules or compounds we have to study for group 17. One is chlorine and the second one is HCl, hydrochloric acid. Cl2, chlorine, it was discovered by the scientist Scheele, SCHEELE. How it is prepared in laboratory? Manganese dioxide, the black colored solid, okay, pyrolusite, and when it is treated with hydrochloric acid, then we get MnCl2 plus Cl2 plus H2. Okay. Then potassium permanganate, when it is treated with hydrochloric acid, MnCl2 plus Cl2 plus KCl plus H2O. Okay, and so many preparations are there. One commercial method of preparation which is also known as Dakin's process. Okay, when HCl is treated with oxygen, upon heating with copper chloride, then we get Cl2 plus H2O. Then MnO2 plus concentrated sulfuric acid plus NaCl, then we get NaHSO4 plus MnCl2 plus Cl2 plus H2O. So these are the methods of preparation of chlorine. Amongst these, in laboratory you can prepare chlorine by using this method. Industrially, Deccan's process is very important, and these can also be obtained in laboratory as well. So far as physical properties are concerned, chlorine, as I have already said at the beginning of the chapter, that it is a greenish yellow gas and it is soluble in water, and when it is dissolved in water, then what happens? It liberates nascent oxygen, and therefore it acts as a bleaching agent, and its bleaching property is based on oxidation. So any colored substance, okay, any colored substance with this nascent oxygen becomes colorless. Okay, now let's see some chemical properties, important chemical properties. And chemical properties, when it reacts with metals, then metals plus chlorine, metal chlorides, depending upon the valency of the metal. So if it is sodium, NaCl, if it is magnesium, MgCl2, if it is aluminium, AlCl3, if it is so many metals, they react with chlorine, iron as well, FeCl3, etc. And non-metals also, they react with metals, chlorine. So non-metals plus chlorine, as for example you see phosphorus with chlorine, it forms PCl3. Sulfur with chlorine, it forms sulfur monochloride, and so on. So this is the reaction with metals and non-metals. Now with hydrogen, when it reacts, it forms HCl. Then SO2 plus Cl2, SO2Cl2, that is sulfuryl chloride, and when it reacts with calcium hydroxide, that is slaked lime, it forms CaOCl2 plus CaCl2 plus H2O. So you can see CaOCl2, calcium oxychloride, and that is nothing but bleaching powder. And reaction of chlorine with ammonia and sodium hydroxide is very, very important. So let's see those reactions. What happens when chlorine reacts with ammonia? And reaction of chlorine with ammonia, I will divide it into two categories. So when chlorine reacts with ammonia and ammonia is in excess, then what happens? It forms N2 plus NH4Cl. Whereas when chlorine is in excess, then what happens? NCl3, nitrogen trichloride plus HCl, supposed to be an explosive, NCl3. So here ammonia is in excess, and okay, and here chlorine is in excess. So this reaction is very important because the products are different. When ammonia is in excess, you get N2 plus NH4Cl. When chlorine is in excess, NCl3 plus HCl. And second reaction, which is very, very important, reaction of chlorine with sodium hydroxide. So when chlorine reacts with cold and dilute NaOH, then what happens? NaCl plus NaOCl plus H2O. Sodium chloride plus sodium hypochlorite plus water. Whereas when chlorine reacts with concentrated and hot NaOH, then the product is different. NaCl plus NaClO3 plus H2O. Okay. So here the product is sodium chlorate and there the product was sodium hypochlorite. However, NaCl and water is common in both the cases. So while learning and remembering, you can have a practice over here. And one more thing which is very important, chlorine oxidation state 0 here, and here you can see -1. So 0 to -1 reduction and 0 to +5, because this is -6 and +1. So this becomes +5. So 0 to +5 oxidation. So same species undergoes reduction as well as oxidation. So what type of reaction it is? It's a disproportionation reaction. Same species undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. And even organic compounds react with chlorine. Halogenation of alkane, as you all know, that in presence of UV light or sunlight, and it's a free radical substitution reaction, and since it liberates nascent oxygen, so it acts as an oxidizing agent as well. Ferrous sulfate oxidizes to ferric, and so on, sulfite, sulfate, nitrite, nitrates. So it acts as an oxidizing agent, it acts as a bleaching agent. Then for the preparation of so many compounds, you can see here, in organic chemistry, it is used for the preparation of chloroform, then DDT, then carbon tetrachloride, and so on. And one in-text question is given in NCERT, name 2 poisonous gases which are prepared from chlorine. So these important poisonous gases are tear gas, mustard gas, and phosgene. Okay, any 2 you can remember or all 3 you can remember. And tear gas is CCl3.NO2, chloropicrene also it is known as, and this is CH2, CH2Cl, then sulfur, CH2, CH2, Cl. Okay, dichlorodiethyl sulfide mustard gas, and phosgene is COCl2, that is carbonyl chloride. So these 3 are the poisonous gases which are prepared from chlorine. So apart from this, it is used to prepare several organic compounds. It is used as a bleaching agent for bleaching wool, silk, then rayon, textile, paper pulp, etc. So these are the uses. So methods of preparation, physical properties, oxidizing behavior, bleaching action, and then uses of chlorine, reaction with ammonia, and reaction with NaOH, that is in 2 conditions, cold and dilute as well as hot and concentrated. Okay dear children, so prepare the preparation properties of chlorine, and in our next class we are going to study about hydrochloric acid and oxo acids of halogens. Okay, P block supposed to be very, so prepare it well. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much.